How do you remove a high-value target while the entire world is watching? You don't invade. You don't announce. You distract. This operation wasn't about brute force. It was about deception, using noise to hide silence and scale to conceal precision. While global media focused on U.S. naval movements in the Caribbean, something far quieter was already unfolding. This wasn't a war. It was a controlled extraction. Just after 2 a.m., Caracas went dark. Streetlights failed. Communications dropped. Military networks began to fracture. Confusion spread across the capital as command centers struggled to understand what was happening. By 5 a.m., one thing was undeniable. Nicolás Maduro was no longer there. What followed wasn't panic. It was uncertainty. And uncertainty is often the most powerful weapon in modern conflict. This moment had been months in the making. Under the cover of counter-narcotics operations, U.S. naval forces quietly increased their presence near Venezuela. Carrier strike groups, destroyers, and amphibious ships positioned themselves across the Caribbean. Publicly, it appeared routine. Privately, intelligence agencies were tracking a single objective. Every routine was mapped, every movement analyzed, every weakness documented. They waited for a precise window, a moment when the target was stationary, predictable, and vulnerable. When that window opened, the operation moved forward. At exactly 2 a.m. local time, the sky erupted. More than 150 aircraft filled the airspace, not to strike the city, but to overwhelm perception. The sound itself became a weapon, saturating sensors and masking something far more precise. High above, stealth aircraft quietly degraded radar coverage and disrupted air defense networks. Missile batteries lost coordination. Command and control links faltered. Situational awareness collapsed. A narrow corridor opened, and through it, the mission advanced. As attention remained fixed on the skies, helicopters moved low, dangerously low. They skimmed rooftops, slipped between buildings, and stayed beneath radar coverage. By the time they were detected, they were already past the danger zone. Inside were Tier 1 operators, trained for speed, precision, and control. Simultaneous strikes targeted key military installations, disrupting air response and command authority. Explosions echoed across the city. But the explosions weren't the mission. They were the mask. Eyewitnesses later described aircraft slicing through the darkness and disappearing into restricted zones. Assault teams entered a secured compound believed to be inside a heavily protected military complex. Resistance was immediate, but fragmented. Under suppressive fire and electronic disruption, defenders struggled to coordinate. Operators moved with practiced efficiency, breaching from multiple points and clearing rooms in seconds. Every movement followed a plan rehearsed countless times. This phase lasted minutes, not hours. This was the decisive moment. Back in the United States, the assault team had trained inside a full-scale replica of the compound. Every hallway, every door, every angle was already familiar. Flash devices detonated. Security was overwhelmed before a coordinated response could form. Intelligence assets had already penetrated the inner circle, providing real-time confirmation. Within moments, the high-value target was secured. There were no negotiations, only execution. Specialized helicopters arrived overhead, designed for rapid urban pickup and extended range flight. The team lifted off, refueled in the air, and exited Venezuelan airspace within minutes. By the time military command pieced together what had happened, the aircraft were already over open water, heading toward a secure staging area. The operation was complete. Venezuela maintains a dense and complex air defense environment, including advanced missile systems, foreign radar networks, and unmanned reconnaissance platforms. This is contested airspace. Legacy aircraft would face extreme risk here. Stealth platforms, however, are designed for exactly this environment, able to detect, disrupt, and neutralize defenses before being detected themselves. That advantage made the operation possible. This operation demonstrated a new model of modern warfare. No invasion, no occupation, no prolonged conflict. Just intelligence, deception, air dominance, and special operations, operating as a single system. With radar degraded and communications fractured, defenders were forced to react instead of coordinate. Every delayed decision widened the gap between awareness and reality. In modern conflict, that gap is fatal. This is where integration mattered most. Naval assets offshore provided command and control redundancy. Surveillance aircraft stitched together fragmented data. Intelligence teams confirmed movements in real time. Nothing operated alone. Every element fed the same picture. And that picture changed by the second. On the ground, the extraction team moved without hesitation. No lingering, no secondary objectives. Once the target was secured, the mission shifted instantly to departure. Speed replaced stealth. Momentum replaced patience. Above the city, aircraft repositioned to seal the exit corridor, not to escalate, but to deter interference. The message was silent, but unmistakable. Don't follow. Within minutes, the operation crossed its most critical threshold: open airspace. From that point forward, interception became exponentially harder. Distance, altitude, and electronic protection worked together to close the window. By sunrise, normal activity began to return. Power grids stabilized, communications resumed, military units regrouped, but something fundamental had changed. A presence was gone. No press conference explained it. No official statement confirmed it. Only absence. And absence forces questions. Questions ripple outward through command structures, alliances, and regional calculations. It alters assumptions. It reshapes planning. It introduces doubt where certainty once lived. That is the real impact. Not the aircraft, not the ships, not even the operation itself, but the realization that control can be taken quietly, precisely, and without warning. This is the direction modern conflict is moving toward, where visibility is a liability, where noise is a tool, and where success is measured not by what is destroyed, but by what disappears.